Sudbury. Yeah, it's like not too far, but like not too like close either. Yeah, I'm Ojibwe, Potawatomi, Ottawa, like a little mix of like the three fires confederacy. Yeah, and I just started painting like during COVID, actually. My partner at the time, she's like a woodline artist. Like she's pretty legit. Yeah, she's like really well established within the scene, I guess. And yeah, for months she was like pushing me to like start painting. And yeah, at first I resisted, but eventually, yeah, I decided to give it a shot. And yeah, I don't know, I just like really took to it. Like it felt, because at the time I was like a little bit lost in what I wanted to do in life and shit. And yeah, during COVID, there's nothing else to do but like get skilled up, I guess, because there's a lot of time. And yeah, I just painted like every day. And at first, my lines were just pure garbage, actually. And yeah, I was just, guessing with all my colors. But yeah, over the past like 5 or 6 years, I've just been, at it every day, almost kind of obsessively. And it's actually really helped me in terms of just like keeping me alive, like just having, this product to sell and, get by. And yeah, so these are some of my most recent works. I usually do like smaller pieces because smaller pieces sell a lot faster. But this was probably my first like big piece that I actually did, which is called the Wendigo, because in like, I guess, Anishinaabe lore, we have like this demon, like cannibal monster thingy, within like our stories. And this is actually kind of like an homage to Wendigo by Norval Morrisseau, which I encourage people to look up. But yeah, this one actually has like a lot of meaning for me as well, because when I painted it, I was actually living in Vancouver, on the streets of Vancouver, actually. And I was living on the downtown east side for probably about a year. That was like my studio for, a minute there. And this was actually commissioned by this art gallery that turned out to be like super sketchy, but they commissioned this off me for like $350, and they gave me some money for a tent, and that's where I painted it. And living on the downtown east side was probably one of the most like formative like times in my life. It really shaped how I think. Seeing like, just how like homeless folks have to live under like settler colonialism. It's very harsh, it's very abrasive to, be, I guess, enmeshed under these systems of power and domination. And particularly in Vancouver, there's like a lot of gentrification happening. And, they have the street sweeps, so they'll get, where the city will get like the cops and, all of the sanitation workers to collect like, the homes of like homeless people and just like dump them in the garbage. And I actually saw a lot of crazy shit when I was there. And a lot of just a real nightmare, actually. Just living hell for people who are still there. Because I consider myself really lucky to even be in this space right now. I feel lucky that I even have like my sanity, because I painted this in this park called Musqueam, which is like in East Vancouver. And in these like woods, and like I had like a tent within a tent situation set up. It was during the fall too, and just the weather in the fall in Vancouver is just like absolute hell. It's like so cold, and but also like so humid. I remember this blue spot actually took like a day to dry. Whereas like if I was in an indoor setting, it would dry within a matter of hours. That's how crazy it was there. Yeah, and there were like certain points, like I'll admit, where I sort of lost my mind, like painting this one. Yeah, there were a few moments when I really just lost touch with reality a little bit. And also I was doing like a lot of shrooms at the time too, so that didn't help matters either. But yeah, I feel like all of my best paintings are the ones where I feel like I'm gonna go a little bit insane on. And in terms of, yeah, losing my mind is like definitely this one was the one, because I was like right in the gutter, like right in the trenches when I painted this. And yeah, it's just the scale of like human tragedy in terms of like, you know, homeless communities, not just here, not just in Vancouver, but here as well. Like even taking an Uber here, like I saw a few like tents like in the bush and shit. And yeah, it just like brought it all back to me, like what it's like to actually, you know, be stuck with, you know, no indoor place to go to. And I still have like friends who are, you know, still on like the downtown east side. And I think that's kind of like who I think about like with each painting, because my politics very much inform like all of my work. And I've had like a very, very political, I guess, like context that I've been enmeshed in before art even, because even with this one, oh shit, even this one, oh yeah, thank you. Yeah, even this one was inspired by some of my experiences, because I actually used to be involved in like the environmental movement. And I guess I'll just tell a quick story. This happened in like 2018. There was like this hippie anarchist dude who like invited me to like this blockade in eastern Quebec. He had like a veggie oil bus, and at the time, I was like always keen for adventure, so I said, of course, yeah, sure, I'll go. So yeah, we took a road trip with all of his other like crusty anarchist like friends, and yeah, so I get to the blockade, and it's like on top of a mountain, and probably for about a week, yeah, we held it down, but then the cops came, they SQ'd, or surely do Quebec, and yeah, they issued an injunction, and then that's when all of these like white anarchists, these white French anarchists, they got like really scared, and they're like, eventually they all started to leave like the blockade like one by one in like bunches, to the point where it's just me and that guy I went there with. His name was Crow. Yeah, so even I thought about leaving, but he was the one who always insisted. He was like, you can go, but I'm gonna stay. And it was really kind of nuts to see like how dedicated this white person was to like line defense, and like kind of inspired me in a way. Yeah, so with just us two, we held down that like blockade site for probably about 3 days. Yeah, with this huge like police presence on the other end. And then, yeah, on the 4th day, he was like, I'm gonna use the washroom, hold down the fort. And I was like, yeah, okay, no problem. And 2 hours later, there's no sign of him. And then a few more hours, yeah, still no sign of him. And right when I said, oh shit, I guess it's just me now, that's when all of these like SWAT military personnel just like swarmed the camp and just like beat the shit out of me. then I went to prison for a bit for that, and then I found out that Crow actually like hitchhiked back to Montreal with no gear, just totally ditched me there. So this piece has a lot of themes of like betrayal and revenge, because I was thinking about my experiences in like the environmental movement, in terms of just all the shady white people that I've met in my travels, especially in that like context. And so in a way, this is basically me and Crow. That's what I was thinking about at least. And after all that went down, I put like a hex on him, like a good old-fashioned Indian curse, and I said something bad is going to happen to that person. And then I just found out like a week ago that he like had like an accident and like suffered like a severe like brain injury. So that shit actually worked. Yeah, it worked. So just FYI, if you're white, just be careful. Tread carefully. And this piece, right here. When I first posted it on Instagram last August, I think a lot of people were like, "What the fuck? Like, what are you doing?" Like, especially like the white folks on my like Instagram. It seemed to evoke like a really particular kind of fragility within the white people on my Instagram. All of the black and brown folks like got it. They got it right away. But I had to defend it because I was getting razzed, and I guess I should explain what my intent was behind it. I guess I came up for like the woodland art scene. Like I'm kind of a low person within the pecking order of things, and I conceived this painting actually when I was homeless in Vancouver, and I was seeing what sells within woodland art, and what's been all the rage is like painting like these pop culture figures using like these woodland aesthetics, and essentially I feel like it's like catering to the white gaze. Like it's basically when they do that, when they paint Bart Simpson, with a headdress, what they're doing is they're creating like a fetish commodity for white people. Living in a tent and seeing that, I was kind of starting to like question, like it's exactly what conditions of visibility are being produced, and what systems of white supremacy are being upheld by like people within like my own scene, I guess. And I just asked myself the question, what would happen if I did that exact same thing, but used like one of the most like evil like white supremacist pop culture figures like in Western hegemony. And because I feel like with my art, what they're trying to do is they're trying to sell like a real romantic vision. They're selling like utopia, but in my perspective, all utopias are exclusive, like exclusionary, and they create the other as well. So, I'm very conscious of that when I when I paint. I'm always conscious about like, what messaging like I'm trying to put out there in the world. And it was surprising that it got so much hate because I thought for sure people would get it, but I wasn't even sure about bringing it here because I wasn't sure, just from that backlash I received, I wasn't sure how it would be, what the reception would be to it here. And I've been very surprised in a really good way, just by the response I've received for it. And But I found that my style's been moving out of that a little bit. I've been doing a lot more, I guess, like illustrative shit. And yeah, now that I'm housed, yeah, because I actually am very lucky to even be in this space. Like, I recognize that I have like a lot of privilege, you know, just being here even. And yeah, just even coming in and seeing like these little tiny encampments like along the canal, like just really brought it back home for me because yeah, just like a few years ago I was like, you know, living out on my shoes on the downtown east side, and then I came into like a huge sum of money randomly, and now I'm just like painting like these like larger pieces that, you know, were always my dream. And, you know, it's always my dream to, you know, be within a space like this, you know, sharing my art and, you know, sharing the vision that I guess that I'm kind of like striving for. And I guess I'll just end by saying that like all of my work, it's not, this isn't exactly how it's meant to be displayed. Because all of these colors, they're actually done with like fluorescent. When I was first starting out, I used to steal like Dollarama paint, and I found like Dollarama paint, especially the fluorescence, kind of gave like a really sharp color that was like quite similar to the name brand, like acrylics. And yeah, I used to steal like or boost like fluorescent paint from like Michael's as well. And yeah, it's now to the point where I don't have to do that anymore. But yeah, I just wanted to, I guess, show what this looks like under a black light. So I was wondering if we could like kill the lights for a second.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not very bright. But yeah, it's supposed to glow in the dark and shit. Because in Vancouver, there's all of these like, bulbs, I guess, that have gone like, I don't know, I guess they expired, and when they expire, they like turn blue and shit. So this is not a very bright bulb. It's not very, yeah, a good example, but yeah, ideally, there'd be like huge black lights, yeah, just lighting this shit up. Well, yeah, my name is zaagaasige, and thanks for listening to me rant about my art. Appreciate it.